Thanks for stopping by, guys, and welcome back to Scrap Mechanic. Today we're doing another community creations video. Now, I asked you guys over on Discord to send your best off-road vehicles for me to take a look at, and these are the 5 that I have picked out. Now, I'm going to go through these in no particular order. We're going to take a look at each one individually and have some fun with them. Alright, and the first build we're going to be looking at is the FPI Tarantula Mark 1 Canyonero. I do believe that's how it's pronounced. This is by Dark Squid, or as he's known over on Discord, Scud. So this seems to be a kind of MRAP style build with the military camo and all that going around. Now all the doors open independently. These side ones open up, which I thought was kind of interesting. I guess it's one way to put a door in a compact space. And it does have a trunk as well. And I do like that the back actually folds down to make a little bit of a step to get up into. Now let's go ahead and close that back up and hop into the driver's seat. Now you may have noticed this does use a dual drive system, so it is somewhat decent off-road. And if I can remember the controls, 1 is the dual drive, 2 is the door, 3 are the back door. Interesting. Alright, let's go ahead and drive around. We are in the gas drive right now. Let's find something worth crawling. Let's go around this real quick and see how well it does. Now I do kind of like the little sloped front that he did for the windows to get those little window bars. My only concern is if it's going to have an effect on the frame rate, which I'm not sure yet. I haven't played with this enough to know. And another little detail I like is that when you are in the dual drive electric drive, you do have hazard lights on. The actual yellow lights do flash on the front and back. Let's see if we can get up this. The one issue I have been running into, and I've run into it with a few of these builds that I'm going to be showing off today, is the bumpers, the ground clearance. Even though they do have the dual drive on them, some of them, the wheel clearance, especially on the front, makes it hard to get up onto some of these rocky faces to climb up them. But we did get up this one. And let's see if we can find somewhere else that'd be fun to climb. I know a place. And if you are curious, I am on a bit of a custom map that I have set up for rock crawling vehicles specifically. This is a place I like to go a lot, right over here. Go ahead and click it into dual drive, 3, 2, 1, now we're in electric. And you can tell because of the lights flashing as well. So this does carry, it looks like 5 people. I think there's 5 seats in here. And it does have a little bit of interior detail, not too much, but enough to make it look nice. And overall, I'm really happy with how this looks, actually. It looks really nice and beefy like it should as a military vehicle. Let's see if we can... Oh, I'm getting snagged on the rock with the bumper again. So there we go, we got over it. I'm actually surprised I haven't had much clearance issues other than the front bumper. A lot of the trucks I've built keep snagging on the carriage right where the seats are. The actual main, you could say, crew compartment or personnel compartment. And snagging on that tree though. See if we can get this back around. I think we got clear. Come on, there we go. And one last hill to climb up. Oh, don't roll it. I came in at a really bad angle for that. See if we can straighten it out a little bit. I think we're getting stuck on the back bumper. There we go, we got unhooked. And up we go. So there we go. That is the FPI Tarantula made by Scud. Really nice looking build. Works rather well. My only complaint is the bumper can catch on a lot of rocks while crawling. As I failed to speak English. Can catch on a lot of rocks while crawling. There we go. Alright, and the second build we're going to be looking at is the Rover MK1 V9 made by Viper. Now this does look like it's somewhat MRAP inspired, but not completely. There are some details like the grill on the front glass that look kind of nice. But the really interesting thing about this build specifically is it has the auto dual drive. So essentially what it is right now I'm doing it manually. But if I go in here and I flick 2, that'll turn the system on. And in the back here, there are a couple of sensors that will detect the angle of the truck. If I can see it, there we go. And when the truck goes at a certain angle, it would automatically engage the dual drive. Now it's a really cool concept, however, I have experienced a few issues with it. So it is really fast right now that we're in gas drive mode. And the front wheel has jammed apparently. Let me see if I can fix that. And I appear to be stuck in the vehicle. There we go. Did I fix the wheel? There we go. So real quick, before I do anything else, let me go through the controls. 1 is the manual for the dual drive. 2 is turning on and off the auto system. 3 is the door, which is jammed. 4 is the lower lights, and 5 is the upper lights, and that is all the buttons. So let me make sure the dual drive system is on. Yes, it is. And let's go over to this little rocky face that we were using before. I'm having a really hard time controlling this because the engines are cranked up really high, and the steering keeps getting jammed on everything. There we go. So we do have the auto dual drive enabled. There we go. The steering keeps getting jammed on this. I'm not sure why. So as we climb up, if I can get this front bumper over the rock, there we go. You'll notice these lights turn on as I increase angle. And once both the yellow and red are on, then the dual drive will automatically enable. There we go. Now there are a few complaints with this I do have. It's a really cool idea, however the sensitivity is a little less than I would hope. Sometimes it doesn't enable when you need it to. That is when you're just stuck on rocks. But sometimes the angle of attack you need, the actual vertical angle you need for it to enable is kind of high. Another thing I've noticed while looking at the system is it doesn't account for when you're going downhill. It only accounts for going uphill. So if we go back over here as well, see if it will enable on this set. So I could flick it in manually if I wanted to, but I just want to see what this auto system will do. There we go, we're on yellow. And red has not enabled, but I think the dual drive has already kicked in. The description said it had to have yellow and red. However, it looks like yellow is enough to kick on the dual drive system. There we go, and then it turns back to gas. For this section, oh, I'm getting stuck on the tree. I'm going to click on the dual drive manually to see if we can get ourselves unstuck. on. Let's get unstuck from here. Oh, come on. One more little wiggle, and there we go. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the manual dual drive and let the automatic system do it for me. There we go. So if I go ahead and hit this hill, you'll see the system kicks on, and now we are on the automatic dual drive. Oh, I'm sliding on the hill. Stuck on something, and I'm not sure what. I think we're stuck between our front and rear bumper. I think we're balanced. Oh no. Come on. Come on. Get down. Get down. There we go. Come on. Grab it. Grab. There we go. And up and over we go. So having that auto dual drive system is a really interesting concept. I might have to play around with that. However, oh, I'm stuck in this vehicle. I have a habit of getting stuck in this one. Let me just put it on lift to see if I can get out that way. There we go. So it's a really cool design. I think it could be, if worked on. Ooh, this is. I didn't play with these buttons. This is the actual system itself. It's using what looks like a infinite stabilizer with a couple of sensors to detect angle. I'm gonna close that back up. So like I was saying, it is a really interesting system. And I think if it was improved upon a little bit, it could be a lot better and be something that would be worthwhile for a lot of vehicles, having the auto dual drive. I'm not sure if detecting angle would be the best idea. I'd probably see if I could figure out a way to detect wheel spin, if that was a possibility. But overall, really cool implementation of a really cool idea. Alright, and the next vehicle we're going to be looking at is the pickup truck by Somebody. Now, if I'm being honest, this is one of my favorite looking builds of the collection that I have here. Let's go ahead and hop in it. So this is simply a dual drive off-road truck, and it does have the capacity for 5 as well. Let's go ahead and drive it around. Right now it is in its gas drive. This only has a manual gas, or I should say a manual dual drive. So 1 swaps onto the dual drive, and 2 turns on the light bar that's above us. So if we go back to the other places we've already used, just so we can have a bit of a better comparison between the vehicles. It drives really well. Oh, I almost rolled it there, just because I hit that rock. Alright, let's go ahead and click into the electric. And up we go. Now this truck doesn't have the same issue I had mentioned on the other ones, is that front bumper. As you can see, there's that sloped edge that helps it kind of skirt over rocks, and there's a lot of clearance on those front wheels, which helps a lot when doing this rock crawling. Go ahead and click it back into the gas drive. Now I know a lot of vehicles do kind of need that front bumper for aesthetics, but it still does make it a little hard for some of the more aggressive off-road paths. Oh, I did not see that branch that I just ran into at full speed. And once again, go ahead and click it into electric drive. And up we go. There we are. Oh, I'm getting stuck on the tree like I have with every single vehicle so far. There we go, we got around it quite easily though. And up this slope we go. So this is, once again, this is the, what is this? This is the pickup truck by Somebody. Now, like I said before, it is one of my favorite designs visually, just looking at it, some of the details it has. And in my opinion, it does work the best simply because of the front wheels being nice and exposed, which for some of the other vehicles, they need the bumper for aesthetic reasons, but if you're going for pure off-road capabilities, I think this is the best one so far. Alright, and the fourth build we're going to be taking a look at is the Trophy Truck by Blue Yoshi. So this is how it spawns up on the lift. And if we go around here, we can go ahead and flick this button, and it will engage the rear suspension. Now, the front suspension is a bit weird. Most of the vehicles we've looked at so far have had just default spring suspension. This actually has a pivot point here and on the spring, which this whole arm pivots up and down. If I can get my lift under here. There. You can kind of see how it pivots. Now the rear suspension, I actually quite like this. So these two bars are independent. I think I've built a vehicle like this. I think one of my first trophy vehicles was like this. The thing I really like is the spring and piston combo. I don't know if he intended it to be like this, but when the spring is fully compressed, the piston here kind of acts like a shock. So once the spring takes that initial impact, the piston will take any extra impact that there is. So if you do overload the spring, you don't just suddenly crash into the ground. You kind of get a nice second stage spring of sorts. Drop it back down and hop into the front seat. Now this isn't really meant for off-roading in the sort of like rock crawling. It's more for the like off-road racing Baja style trophy truck. I'm not sure how many of those areas I have around the map. On a default world, it'd probably be better to have gone to the Badlands, the little outside of the track. But I have a few jumps here, and those should do nicely. So, like I said, there is only one switch, and that is for the rear suspension to activate. Wham! So this is one of those builds. It's very simple, but I kind of like it, especially that rear suspension with the spring and piston setup. Ooh, trees. This isn't exactly the best world to show this vehicle off, unfortunately. I'm not sure if I have the racetrack on this map. I don't think I do. But we do have this over here. We have a little fun with it nonetheless. Oh, what did I hit? Hit something. I was trying to take this jump. Oh, we're scraping the undercarriage. And we're kind of stuck. Let's go and put it on left and try this again. I am going to try cranking up the engines real quick. Just because it is a lid. Oh, they're almost on full. That's interesting. Now they are on full. There we go. There's my jump. There it is. Oh, and we bottomed out the front suspension. There we go. This is a little nice place to test it. Go and spin it back around. Let's go for a full speed run through these cornfields and see how well it does. So that is the trophy truck by Blue Yoshi. I don't know why, but I think it's just the simplicity that I enjoy. Just the suspension itself is a little complex, especially compared to some of the other vehicles. But it does work quite well for how simple it is, especially if you compare it to some of the off-road trucks I've built with absolutely monstrous suspension with fucking, like, what was it, dual arm or whatever it is, with all these like anti-roll bars and stuff in the suspension. This is really simplistic and very nice for what it's capable of doing. Alright, and last but not least, we're going to be looking at the Model 27C by James Squires over on my Discord. Now, this is, in my opinion, the most unique of the ones we've looked at. We've had the big beefy trucks, the off-road vehicles, and like the buggies and stuff. This is meant to be a kind of home away from home. You can put it anywhere you want to, in the mountains and the hills, and kind of use it as a mobile base. So we can get in and out via these doors. There's doors here. But the main way in and out is here at the back. We go ahead and hit this. There we go. We can go ahead and come in here. There are a few buildings or a few rooms. You do have a bathroom. Go ahead and shut the door. You have a bit of a sleeping area with a light. And a bit of a kitchen with a light as well. Is there a light for the hallway? Did I miss it? Oh, there it is. I think that's it. Yep, there it is. And a fridge that if you really want to, you can trap yourself in, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and turn some of these lights off because they are a little bright. And hop in here. Now going through the switches. 1 is turn signal. 2 is... There's 2. 2 is the dual drive. 3 is the front lights. 4 is the right turn signal. And we don't have a switch to close the back door, so I'll go ahead and run back there and do that. Go ahead and shut the back door. There we are. And let's go driving a little bit. So it's got 8-wheel steering and 8-wheel drive. So despite its size, it turns on a dime. Now let's go ahead and push this thing to its limits where it should never go. Now for rock crawling itself, I'm not sure if it'll do all too well. I guess a good use for the dual drive in this situation would be crawling up hills and stuff to get it up high. Just because of how big and massive this thing is, it can be a bit difficult to get up some of these slopes, but we're going to try and use it for what it's... Oh, we're already stuck. 2. Oh no. There we go. Up and over we go. Click it back into gas drive. It's so big that I'm having a hard time getting it on my screen. Let's see if we can do something with it that shouldn't really be done. Let's try rock crawling. And there we go, we've hit the front bumper. If we can just get this front bumper over, we should be able to get the rest of the vehicle to go. As long as we don't scrape the rear bumper as well, then we'll be stuck. Come on. There we go, wiggle it, wiggle it. Yeah. It looks like we don't have enough traction. I think we are sitting on our rear bumper. Go ahead and get this thing back down. Click it back into gas drive. And you know what? Let's just take it up on some hills. So, the idea for just having a mobile base like this is really interesting. Just the only issue I'm running into is the clearance with it. Now, you are trying to move a house through a mountain, so you kind of already are running into issues there. But I wonder if there'd be a way to do it a bit, I wouldn't say a bit easier, but a bit more effective. Oh, I'm having a hard time getting it to go with. There we go. On the flat ground, it picks up quite a bit of speed. And I'm actually surprised it's staying as stable as it is with all this weight up high. Surprised it hasn't rolled on us yet. Especially when we're doing the rock crawling test with it. There we go. But in a situation like this where we're starting to slow down really hard because of the weight, we could click into the dual drive like right now, and that should help us up the mountain. So in this situation, the dual drive isn't really being used for rock crawling like a lot of my other builds use it for, but just mostly as a weight management system, I guess, to help with the excess weight that you're putting onto it, because you are literally moving an entire house with a kitchen, bedroom, and bathroom. Let's see if we can get it up to the top of this mountain. I don't think this is a particularly difficult mountain, but still. Actually, I know a place where I want to tuck it down there. Let's go ahead and back into that spot. Oh, I'm stuck on a rock. Come on, get unstuck. And there you go. You have just found a new parking spot for your house. Go ahead and open up the back door. You've got a great view out your windows too. And I guess you do also have a little bit of a path you can go through here. This would be a nice place for a house. Just come up here, park your vehicle. So park whatever vehicle you've got. Just come home, park your vehicle, and walk to your house through this little valley. This is actually quite nice. I like this. And there you go. You've got your nice house parked on the side of a mountain. So, unfortunately, I am out of time for this video. If you guys did enjoy, we're sliding. If you guys did enjoy, please leave a like. If you have suggestions, leave them in the comments down below. Enjoy the channel, enjoy what I'm doing. Please subscribe, it helps out a lot. And right now, shares help the channel the most. So if you do want to help out the channel, please share this episode with a friend. But I'm going to have to end it here. Thanks for stopping by, thanks for sticking around, and until next time, peace.